She-Venom was definitely one of the big takeaways from the first Venom movie. Nobody was really expecting to see her. I mean, there were theories, but nobody was absolutely sure she was going to be in it. But sadly, she didn't really stick around for that long, as Venom only bonded with Annie Wayne to get back to Eddie Brock. But what if this wasn't the only time we saw She-Venom? What if she had her own movie? So now in the first Venom movie, we see a scene where scientists at the Life Foundation discover that the Venom symbiote is capable of breeding, and Carlton Drake orders them to make sure it does by any means necessary, since he does want to make up for the symbiotes that he lost in the crash. So now we later see the eggs are being laid and hatching, and one of the symbiotes is red and yellow. So now we later see the same symbiote again being tested on, and they learn about some of its more unique traits, such as its ability to use camouflage, and Drake becomes more and more interested in this one. So then later on, when Dora Skirth is caught by Drake, instead of trying to get her to bond with the blue symbiote, he tries to get her to bond with the red and yellow one from the egg, aka the Scream symbiote. However, unlike in the actual movie, we don't see what it actually did to her for a while. So now later on, we actually see two end credit sequences. In the first one, we see that Annie actually secretly kept some of the Venom symbiote for herself after a kiss with Eddie. Venom likes Annie after all, so he decided to keep a part of himself on her, which we can actually see Annie has mixed feelings about. She's both afraid and exhilarated by it. Now in the second end credit scene, we see that Dora Skirth successfully bonded with the Scream symbiote. So yes, I know that normally Donna Diego becomes Scream, but first of all, Jenny Slate was wasted in the actual Venom movie, let's be honest. And two, they changed the Life Foundation so that they didn't have their plans to provide a utopia for wealthy clients. That didn't happen. So circumstances are different, and Dora Skirth becomes Scream in this timeline instead. So now this leads us not into Venom Let There Be Carnage, at least not yet, but instead to a She-Venom solo movie. Now in this movie, we see Annie getting used to having the symbiote, and also trying to keep it a secret. Now she thinks that Eddie's Venom symbiote is dead, and she doesn't really have the heart to get rid of what she thinks is left of it. So she keeps it, and it turns out to actually be kind of beneficial for her career, because the symbiote is able to help her locate information on clients that she wouldn't have otherwise been able to find. However, they also have a lot of arguments, such as the fact that Venom still wants to eat people's heads. Also, there's still a part of the regular Venom in there that wants to kill Dan Lewis for getting in the way of Eddie and Annie's relationship. Meanwhile, we cut back to Scream, who's being kept still at the Life Foundation. However, the Life Foundation is in the process of being shut down, and that's when Scream breaks free of her cage and is now roaming the streets of San Francisco. Dora returns home to find that Carlton Drake did exactly what he kept threatening to do. He had her entire family murdered, and so now Dora is pissed off, especially because the one responsible is already dead. So instead, she decides to take it out on Eddie Brock, which is, yeah, definitely pretty petty of her, but she just lost everyone she ever cared about, and she wants to be able to blame somebody for it. So now Annie discovers Scream, and She-Venom is terrified of her. She says that Scream is a much stronger symbiote than her, but when Annie realizes that Scream is going after Eddie, she tries to convince She-Venom to at least try and fight Scream, which she finally agrees to do. So now She-Venom goes off to help Eddie, but during the fight they both discover each other's secret symbiotes, though Venom already was well aware of it because, well, you know, it's a part of a hive mind. And he reveals that he was trying to help the two of them get back together, which they're both kind of furious at him about. Scream manages to escape during all of this, by the way, leaving Eddie, Venom, Annie, and She-Venom to have a hilarious couples argument. So now we see these pairs working together later on to take down Scream, despite all the hostilities. Afterwards, I honestly think that Annie would probably decide to return her symbiote to Eddie, since I don't think she'd want to keep it in the long term, especially since she now knows the rest of Venom is still alive, and she has no reason to feel guilty anymore. Plus, I don't know if she'd want to sacrifice her soon-to-be fiancé, or she could just keep it for a sequel, possibly. So yeah, I apologize for the scenario being so short. I admit I'm not the biggest fan of the Venom movies, so I tried my best, okay? I really did try. I don't think the Venom movies are that bad, for the record. I think that I understand the criticisms, and the second movie is definitely better than the first. And the main reason I decided not to keep her as She-Venom definitively is just because I didn't want to, put in She-Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage, because I just thought that movie already had a lot going on, and the movie wasn't that long as it was. So that's just a lot, of stories to handle in such a short amount of time. And no offense, but I honestly do think that Venom 2 is probably better off without She-Venom. That's not to say that I don't think a She-Venom movie has potential, because I really would like to see a She-Venom movie, honestly. And as far as my decision to make Scream the main villain, I know a lot of you guys are going to be saying that I'm doing it wrong, or that I should have used Shriek or someone like that, but the reason I decided to use Scream, well, first of all, it's because she's awesome. She's a badass character, in my opinion. And second of all, as I said, I thought Jenny Slate was really wasted, so that's why I decided to have her be Scream instead of Donna Diego, which, yeah, I know, I didn't think it was worth it. I thought the moment had passed for Donna Diego to debut in this franchise, honestly. And I thought it would be kind of a cool thing to see, like, the lasting effects that Riot really had on his employees. Not to mention, we have a built-in interest with Dora Skirth, because we actually got to see her in the first Venom movie, unlike with Carnage, where we only saw him in the end credits. So it would have been cool to see a follow-up where we actually had some true, connection to the first movie, at least as far as the villain's concerned. But yeah, so I'm kind of picturing like a fun little courtroom drama comedy deal. I just think that would be really funny seeing, Venom in a courtroom environment. I just think that would be really funny, especially with, Annie trying to keep it a secret. I think that would lead to a lot of hilarious scenes. Then there's, the couples therapy, between Eddie and Annie, and then with Venom in the middle, both versions of Venom. I just think it would be really funny. I think that a She-Venom movie could be really damn funny, honestly. Not to mention, Michelle Williams is a fantastic actress, and I kind of want her to have more to do. So a She-Venom movie starring Michelle Williams, I think it would have a lot of potential. Now, yeah, I know that this video was not as detailed as some of my other ones, and I apologize about that. But that's mainly just because, I'm not a lawyer. I didn't want to get too much into the politics. And besides the fact that I thought the story would be fairly straightforward, and I don't claim to be the funniest guy in the world, so I didn't want to try to write all the jokes. So, I hope you forgive me for this video being a bit shorter than you were probably expecting. But, hell, Venom Let There Be Carnage was shorter than we were all expecting, so maybe I'm in the tradition? Okay, that was a terrible joke. You see what I mean? I'm bad at jokes. But either way, if you did like this video despite its length, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with all of your friends on all your various social media platforms. And speaking of social media, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Rinzler_Productions, and leave me more what-if recommendations in the comments down below, whether that's about the Venom movies, the Spider-Man movies, any other Marvel characters, or any non-Marvel characters, and I will try to do it. Make sure to ring that notification bell as well to stay up to date on all of my future uploads. I upload brand new videos every single morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so I'll see you all tomorrow in the next video.